Morning everybody, so it's my final morning here. The conditions look quite nice this morning, so the light's changing really quickly now. It's getting a lot lighter very quick. There's some very light mist hanging around, mostly in the main fields. We've got this kind of low level mist. I don't think there's any mist in the woods, so let's pack up, let's get our stuff together and head out to a location, head out somewhere and see what happens. I'm hoping the mist is going to kind of come on a little bit more as the sun rises and the natural heat of the day starts, because then that sort of ground dampness will just lift into mist before the sun comes out fully. I think I'm going to go back to a spot I was shooting last night, which is on the path down there with that view down. I think that might be quite nice. I don't feel like I want to go back into the woods and shoot the trees. I've done quite a lot of that, so I don't think I'm going to get anything particularly new there. So I'm going to go and have a look at that, and we'll see what that's about. Okay, come along. I need one thing. Need my step. Yeah, so let me talk you through what I'm doing. So as you can see, I've got my step out, so that means I can get some extra height on my tripod. The reason I want this extra height is that I want to be able to look down more. So with a wide angle, by looking down, you can exaggerate the foreground, get a little bit more foreground in, tighten up that rear of the image. But I'm trying to do it in a way as well to cut the sky out, because I don't want too much sky in there because it's quite distracting. So yeah, so I've gone up quite high. Plus as well, we've got some bushes and bits on the left here, which are just intruding into the frame. So if you change your angle a little bit, then you can just kind of get rid of those. So yeah, so this is the composition that I've got, as you can see on the back of the screen. So just, yeah, looking down down the track into that little dip. There's trees on the left, trees on the right, which gives a nice kind of natural viewpoint in. We've got some very soft mist. Love to be more heavier mist, I think that'd make it even better. But what we do have, which is beautiful, is this really pink light, which is just starting to fade a little bit. That pink light is just giving this really nice glow to everything, so it's got this warm rosy look, which is just bringing some of the colours alive. So it's amazing what the light can do to a situation, and depending on the time or day, depending on the situation. So it's still quite early in the morning at the moment. I think it's just gone 7. Let's have a look. It is 7:13. So yeah, so the sun is just about to come up over the horizon now, and you can kind of see it just through the trees. It's coming up to our right. So we're just going to sit here for a little bit and let that sun come up and just see what it does to the colours and see what it does to the mists. Hi everyone, welcome back to the office. So by now you've seen me take the image, and you will have seen the completed image on the screen as well. So now I'm going to take you through the processing, what I was thinking while I was processing it. In a minute you'll be able to see the whole processing sped up. So if you want to get a bit more detail of what I did, you can slow that down in YouTube. But now let's go to Lightroom and I'll show you the before and after, and what I was focusing on in the process. Okay, so here we go. We've got the before and after on the screen. So there's a fair difference to this image. Let me talk you through the first thing. So the first thing I did was on the left-hand side. You've got all these. It's quite light where the sun was. It lit that left-hand side, which to me was making the image feel slightly unbalanced, and it was almost drawing your eye away from the main focus, which was the centre and the centre of that path leading down. So the first thing I've done is darkened that whole side, that left, and worked on that throughout the processing to refine that and get that perfect. One of the other areas I've worked on is this middle section, in that where those canopy of trees are meeting. There's the sky poking through. You're not going to get rid of that sky because it's there and it look really odd if you do, but I wanted to just soften the brightness of that area to again stop the eye being detracted away. The next thing I've worked on is basically focusing the eye into the middle of the image. So I've worked with some gradients and some filters and masks through the middle of the image, just to pull your eye in there and focus your eye down to the back of the image, down the path. I've looked at dodging and burning the darker areas of that path, so darkening the edges and the little bit in the middle, and then lightening like the middle of the path, the lighter areas, and then the back of the image, just again so you pull your eye through. I've also done that on these front trees. So you know the big one on the left, the big group on the left, on the left of the image, and then these on the right as well, and then I've faded that off into the back of the image just to add a little bit more contrast in those trees, and just to make them stand out a little bit as well. Overall in the image, as an overall adjustments, is I've reduced clarity, texture and dehaze as well, just because I want to soften that image off and create a little bit more of that fog effect or that mist effect, so it's a soft image rather than being super sharp everywhere. It's still sharp when you look at it and you zoom in, but it's not tack sharp, and I'm actually totally fine with that. I've also played with the colours as well. I mean, in the before image it's quite green, it's quite yellow. It doesn't quite have that pinky magic that was there in the morning. So a little bit of artistic license with the colour, just to push those and push it a little bit more pinky, which I really like that feel. You know, you've got that nice blue of the mist against the reddy pink. So those two colours work well against each other. I've desaturated the greens. I tend to do that quite a lot when there's green in there, and I've moved, you know, like the orange channeled a bit reddier, and I've just tweaked those colours. I don't think it's too much. I think it gives a really nice soft painterly feel, but I really like it. So yeah, that's the basics of the processing that I've done. So carry on now and you can see the full processing sped up. Okay. So I feel like I've got that shot now. It is changing, it's a bit mist rolling in, rolling out. The light has softened right off now, so it's going very clean light. There's no tone to it. So I think I'm gonna walk on from here and see what else I can get. There's a nice little image here. I think I'm going to try with a long lens, some trees in the farmhouse emerging through the mist. So have a quick look at that, and then I might head back to the car park on the road and try and get a view down the valley as the mist is lifting. So I'm just shooting this final shot of the valley. So we've got two trees on the right, and then the mist rolling through the farmers' fields, and the view down the valley. It does crisscross over, but because of the mist you can't see it. The sky's okay, there's nothing exciting in the sky, a little bit of colour. That's softening off very, very quickly as we go. So yeah, just doing 16:9 image. I might make it even more panoramic in post, just to really finesse and fine tune and get rid of any bland bits that we just don't need, but we'll have a look at that later. So I think I'm gonna make this the last shot, and then I'm gonna head back to the car and have some breakfast, a cup of tea and a bit of porridge, and then pack up and probably head home. And I'll keep an eye on what's going on while I eat and have tea, just in case everything changes, because you never know what the weather's going to do, and if I see anything I quite like, I might go and do it. But to be honest, it's quite nice just to sit in the peace and listen to the countryside. It's lovely.